Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back on my kick of use it or lose it, and that means use up everything I possibly can. So I've been doing a whole lot of coffee dyeing, and some grunge with some rusty tidbits of stuff and some rusty pans. So I've been experimenting. And what I've done is I have painted the coffee through, and I haven't ironed this section yet. I just took these off today. I painted the coffee through stencils. You know, I really like the way they came out. And here's another one I did. And it was laid this way in the journal. And there was some blue still in the pan from this one when I coffee dyed it. I dyed papers blue, and then I got looking at it and I said, you know, I'm trying to use up all the dye and all the paper I have. I bought a big box of copy paper. I'm trying to use all of that up. So I've been dyeing papers and cards and everything I could think might go into dye. So this is the rust water painted through the stencil. And then I have this one, and what I like about it is there's a faint print that comes through on the back of it as well. And then this one is another one of the blue dyed ones through a stencil. And Miss Chiquita had this stencil for gel plating, and I had to get it. But I'm so glad I did, because I love the way it came out on the coffee dyeing. And you can see the pans I have are really old, and the edges of this is really grunged up, so I'll probably take the edges off of this one. And then we have this one. There's going to be a lot of repeats. This is another one of the blue ones. I like this stencil. I don't know why, but there's another one of the vines that, I don't know what happened down here. I guess the stencil shifted because it was very windy. So I like that it came out better on the back than the other one did. And here's another one that is vines, and the pan I use has raised dots on it. So this came out really good on the back through this one. And this one came out excellent on the back. So I'm really liking this painting with coffee through. And as you can see, this is really strong coffee. But I have bought several jars of instant coffee at the Dollar Tree a few years back. I actually had already thrown one of them in the trash. I was getting ready to throw the second one. I said, wait a minute. I got a whole box of paper in there. And I did do some regular coffee dyeing, but I don't know. I wanted to do something different, so I got the stencils out and tried it. See, the regular coffee dyeing just doesn't float my boat. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I mean, yes, it's coffee dye, but there's another vine. You can see the raised dots from the pan, and it came through perfectly on the back. Had a little puddling of coffee down here, but just adds character to the paper. Here is some of my rust ones. Well, this is one of the rust ones. This camera's not really picking up how good this came out, but for all in here again, it must have been the wind, because see, I have a screened-in back porch with a long table on it, so I do them out there. Then I take them out to the outside patio and have another long table on that I let them sit in the sun to dry. This is just regular coffee dyed on the pan, and again, I know this was leaves that didn't do very well. That's what that was. This was going to be echo print, and it didn't come out very well, but this one came out pretty good. And all this is coffee. I didn't use vinegar or anything because I find that when you use vinegar in the rust dyeing and in the echo prints, it does stay, and the smell stays in the paper. And I like these dots because it almost looks like there's some kind of handwriting in the background. Here's another one with the rust. I had dyed some greeting cards yellow. Don't they look like sunny side up eggs? Look at that. But I went to hang them up and I didn't realize the pans were underneath it and they were still dripping a little bit. So yeah, I got sunny side up eggs on this one. This one is rust. This one is coffee. This one is just coffee, and you can see this one has a little diamond shape in the pan. This was one of the rusty pans, but I don't know what possessed me, because I did some rust dye on the blue so I could do some steampunk on it, and I decided to wash out the pan, so I washed out some of the rust. So I've had it sitting out in the sun for a couple of days, and I just keep spritzing it to let it rust back up. This is just a pattern off of the pan. This one is actually coffee, believe it or not. This is very strong coffee. Kind of grunged up looking, but I like it. And this one is just coffee. This is the pan that has the holes in the bottom of it. And actually, I set paper on the pan and set it underneath the others when I hung them up to dry, and just let the coffee drip down, and I got a little bit of print off of it. This is just coffee, and you can see it's tore, so they'll just be used for scrap. There's another one would just be used for scrap. This one I love, absolutely love. This is coffee and rust together. I haven't ironed it yet. That circle will flatten out when I iron it. The pan had a circle on the bottom of it. Gotta be careful with that. I didn't pay attention. Here's another one with the diamond pan. The back didn't do too well on this one, but the top came out fine. This is another one from the coffee and rust. Let's see. This is stuck. Where did that happen? And that's the coffee and rust. And the stupid pan had writing in the bottom of it. I didn't even notice it. So I have to cover that up. That's the coffee and rust. That's coffee, and I don't know what caused the lines in it. I wasn't paying attention, apparently. This is coffee. This is coffee. Here's another one I got just from the paper dripping down on it. That's coffee. And that's coffee. This one's coffee. This one's another drip catcher. That's coffee. That is... Wow. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but do y'all see that? It looks like there's a bird in it. That's pretty cool, but that is just coffee dyed paper. I don't know how that mark got in it. That's coffee. And what I do is I'll pick the pan up and move it around to shift the coffee, and it's just, I don't have a whole lot of it in there to get different effects on the paper. That's just going to be a scrap paper. This is another coffee one, and I'm not sure what was going on here, how it ended up looking this way. That's another coffee that you can barely see. The markings on the pan, I like it. It just looks like writing to me. This one, the edge tore. It was too wet when I went to hang it. That's coffee. That's just coffee. It didn't really come out very well. That's another coffee. This was an attempt at a rust pan, but I didn't leave it in long enough. This is pan. It still has some purple in it, and I thought I had gotten it all out. And it's coffee dye with some purple added to it. That's coffee. This one is coffee. This is coffee. And I love this. This is coffee. And the last one is coffee. But I love how this one completely got saturated through to the back. And I love how the stencil puts the imprint on the back as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to keep doing some of these. But I think what I'm going to do now is do some with, I'll lightly dye the backgrounds and then use a darker dye and do some different prints with stencils on. So yeah, I'm just playing around, using it or losing it, but I'm having fun. So there's an idea for you if you've never painted through the stencil. Now, I'm using a basting brush. I bought one at the Dollar Tree specifically to use for this. I'm not using a paintbrush. I am using a basting brush. And the stronger you make your coffee, the darker it'll get. Now, when we have leftover coffee in the morning, I pour it into a water pitcher thing that I have, and it just keeps getting stronger as it sits outside in the sun on the porch. And I just keep adding more coffee to it every day, because we usually have about 2 to 3 cups left over. So, yeah, if the coffee gets stronger, then I'll use it like this. If I want the coffee lighter, I pour it into a measuring cup that I bought. I bought a couple of measuring cups at the Dollar Tree to use for my dyeing, and I just pour it into one of them that I only use for coffee and add water to it to make it lighter. So there's some tips for you if you want to try it. I'd love to see how it turns out for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.